Let's go. Age of the Prime Silverbolt in over 60 seconds. Let's go. I didn't botch the zoom that time, I fucking swear. Anyway, our commander for 2026 is none other than Silverbolt. If you were around for Legacy, you can already tell where this is going. Right, I don't know where the fuck this is going. I don't think the Concorde was quite this long. No, that's because it wasn't. You can see he forms this massive super mode, this expansive jet sort of thing, which at first was really unsightly to look at. Until I kind of made the realization this is like a deep space version of Silverbolt. This is how he gets from star to star because sci-fi shit sounds cool. You can see, dealing with the general profile of this thing, it's fucking immense. Like, this thing is just unnecessarily huge. So, let's go ahead and release our beast. So I just imagine him dumping this in orbit and it just kind of floating away for funsies, while the rest of the core jet makes its way down to the surface. Welcome back, Concorde, my old friend. How do you fare this time around? Oh my god, is that a Combiner Wars Silverbolt retool? Holy shit. How nice of you to keep the articulated nose cone, though. That's pretty peak. Yeah, this thing generally has really nice detailing, paint applications. It comes with everything you expect, but it retains the same issue of the kibble. Also, I think it's showing up well on the camera, but this thing isn't white. It's off-white, which I don't know if that's a good thing or not. I don't mind it, but I'm sure there's at least one G1er out there in the audience who said that Joe Hasbro's house should be fucking burnt down for this. I do not advocate that. It's a fucking toy. We get over it. Now in its full glory, we have Silverbolt's base mode, and you know what? I actually really fucking rate this. Whilst the physical construct isn't much of a stretch from a fucking toilet, as I said in a previous video, conceptually the idea of the base mode just simply being a wall-mounted gun with a solid wall, relatively solid wall, is so much better than just random spires made from arms with a gun mounted in the middle, a la Menasor, or some of the other ones that I'm not caring to remember right now. But you see how good that looks? Now you got the guy in there, and it just pops in the way that I'd expect it to. Plus, bringing Silverbolt in is a fantastic segue for our next segment, childhood obesity. Now, of course, it now draws us on to our primary talking point of the core robot mode of Silverbolt, which, for all accounts, is fairly good, but far from perfect. While he retains a wonderful degree of sculpted detail and some really nice colour allocation, he is not without flaw. For example, if you consider his chest here does not want to tab in securely, so if you just want to splay his arm out, you can quite easily, and it annoys the fucking shit out of me, and I don't like it or care for it very much. Also, while it gives the figure a lot of structural support, which I'm a big fan of, those feet look fucking hideous. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna lie. It looks like he's got fucking chalkboard erasers on his feet. Most kids today probably don't even know what that means. Also, I would just like to know where in Silverbolt's contract it's stipulated that he has to wear the bulk of a jet as a backpack. I'm not saying it doesn't get neatly compressed away, I just wish it wasn't there. And accessory-wise, Silverbolt is of course intended to come with a pea shooter, which, given the direction we're going with this figure, I think works pretty well and I'm happy enough with. I think as far as commander figures go, he's far from the best, and I genuinely think he doesn't really scratch anywhere close to the itch that both Motormaster and arguably Armada Optimus come to. But I know your secrets, you dirty little fucks. You don't care about no core robot. You're here for the good shit. And good shit you shall have. Behold Superion, arguably the most famous Autobot combiner, because he defies the Autobot stereotypes, which means they fly now. Old Superion here follows Menasor's recipe for success, but arguably it's not as much of a success story as the aforementioned Menasor. To explain part of the reason for that, you have to look back at Combiner Wars, where by all accounts Superion was probably one of the best figures to come out of it, whereas Menasor looked like he crawled out the fucking sewer. Combined with all that, the weapon just isn't nearly as fun as the gigantic fucking sword, although admittedly this one does make better strides towards, you know, actually giving him something more befitting of a combiner than the previous pea shooter. Moormaster didn't do that. His head sculpt is relatively solid, although I'm not 100% sure about the plastic they used on it. On my copy at least, the head's got this weird matting on it where it just doesn't quite look right and it leaves weird streaks across it for some bizarre reason. But they don't really show up that well on the camera, so fuck you, I guess, sheep. Following the skeletal format, we literally do just have planes mounted on the arms, which makes the arms look a little bit busy, given that they're, you know, fucking planes, as opposed to cars which lay relatively flat, and it just looks a little bit cumbersome, looks a little bit like it gets in the way just a little bit too much. I guess you could say I'm not a fan. And the issue becomes far more egregious when you see how many extra steps we have to put in for the back of the legs, which I still don't fucking like conceptually, with these jets just forming what looks equivalent to a fucking growth, which I'm not 100% convinced about. I don't know, Superion's just a weird fucking bag. I like him and I wholeheartedly recommend him as a complete set, but ultimately my whole thing with Superion is, the best way I can describe him is he's a mixed bag. He's a mixed bag in the sense of getting like a jawbreaker and a fucking kidney stone in a bag together. I wouldn't say it all lands exceedingly well. I have my reservations throughout. I have my doubts throughout. Like, there is absolutely no denying that the skeletal frame gives him a sturdiness unrivaled by previous combiners of years gone by. But I am also just saying that his end result feels compromised in the face of the other combiner they pushed themselves through this year. I guess the key takeaway from all this is that I'm still a salty, salty boy. What is this blatant disrespect for my boy Alpha Bravo? Get the fuck on it, Joe, and I'll see yous in the next one. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.